Hey everybody, it's Trainers103 here today with yet another replay cast. We are looking at Lieutenant Oswald, and today in a Neptune. Now, this is a replay that has been lying around for a while. This is from basically just before Christmas. You'll see that in the chat shortly. This is the second time I'm recording this. I didn't really feel too happy with the first version. 1, 2, there you go. The zoom in thing's been done. The old replay versions, you have to do the zoom in thingy to get rid of the shift enter exit binocular view thingy. Regardless, Neptune, now that I finally actually got my radar mineral, and I actually really enjoy my radar mineral, that's the thing. I didn't like the Neptune much, to be honest. I found it a bit of a grind. I thought it was not fun overall. The smoke, sitting in the smoke, boring, you know, shooting at people like that, boring. That's why I never played the Royal Navy cruisers with smoke. Once I got to the end and all, I've always played them with radar. And on all honesty, it's just much more enjoyable if you want. You kind of get around to doing stuff that you generally otherwise wouldn't be doing. But anyways, Neptune does not have the world's best firing angles. You can see if that's dead ahead, you'll see that the turrets on the side, they have like 35 odd degrees of firing angles. Which is, it's not Minotaur levels, which have really good. They don't have the same reload and, you know, stuff like that. Regardless, we're creeping towards Charlie. We'll slow down a little bit now, but we're accelerating again. And I definitely don't think it's a good thing, because as you can see, Charlie cap is locked, and there you go, we're now spotted. I would suggest immediately stopping and dropping, instead of trying to turn. Ooh, a turn is really bad here, because we're going to be pretty much the only one spotted. Sure, the guys at the back might be getting spotted, but these guys are now swiveling their turrets around to aim at that, and then broadside Neptune spotted. And they're all going to go, wah, must shot, because of the potential for citadels. Regardless, we're dumping some torpedoes. They do load pretty fast. We got some incoming now. Maintain torque and punch through. Moskva actually citadels us and knocks our rudder, and there we go, double set from the Kerfuffle. So we're going to immediately smoke heal, and we should be damage control partying this, because with an engine broken, we're not actually going to be able to stay inside of the smoke screen even after the smoke screen deployed duration buff. So we're definitely skidding. There you go, see. Last buff down. If we repair now, we can still stop inside of it, but no, it's not going to be on time. We're going to skid. Definitely skid. Really? Okay, fine. You wait for it to show up once, and then do that twice. And now, hopefully, it should be permanently gone. There you go. Opening fire on the Benson, he is angled. We're going to use our hydroacoustics search. Granted, it's not really the world's most useful play. Finally realizing we needed damage control parting the broken engine. Guessing with the aspect ratio you see on the, well, you know, the wide whatnot you see on the screen right now. I'm guessing probably playing on a pretty big screen or whatnot. Maybe even a TV or something like that size. Guessing we just didn't notice it. But definitely in that kind of a situation, you don't want to be leaving your engine broken, because as you can see, the shimmy temporarily spotted us from the side. Granted, the Benson was never going to be able to do that on his own, but you know, anything else in the area could potentially get a spot. And there you go, we see inbound ammunition. Not sure if it's aimed for us or the actually, no, it was aimed for the Montana, so bit of luck for us that it wasn't coming our way. But what's not lucky is that this Montana is honestly being really stupid, and in fact, almost trying to team kill us. Yeah, that Montana's trying to team kill us. 470 damage AP. Do they have a... It's the Mogami with 20.3 centimeter guns, so anyways, this Benson is now deciding that I don't want to be getting Des Moines, so I'm going to try to extract out of here, and well, he's now spotted. And yeah, here comes this Montana trying to do his level best to team kill us at this point. It's really annoying, but we're actually being dragged alongside with him, which is even worse. So personally, I would have just loaded up the torpedoes, launched one right to his side as a dude, get the fuck off me kind of a indicator. We'll get to see this Montana a little bit later on as well, but regardless, with the smoke screen expired, I was talking about something else at the point, with the smoke screen now expired, although I guess we were distracted, I would not have opened fire here at all, to be honest, because we don't exactly know where the shimmy is. He could have, for all we know, looped back around to our side of the map. Granted, with the Benson destroyed, but we don't actually know how long the smoke in front of us is going to last, so we're taking a massive risk over here. But for the moment, it seems to be working out. If any of these guys have a plane, though, and now the Montana might risk... We might be getting ourselves temporarily spotted by the Montana very soon, and there you go. Spotting up, and then we actually continue shooting despite having the reset bug, but our smoke screen's up again, so we're going to use that. But here's the issue. We've been creeping closer and closer towards the enemy team, and this is the disadvantaged side. See Montana running away, Yamato is bleeding and also starting to advance in the opposite direction, so these guys are pushing us down, and, well, we're not really in the world's best position to hold them off, because these guys have a lot of health. Regardless, we have a 6.5 kilometers concealment in smoke from when firing, so as long as this Kerfus doesn't get within 6.5, or anything gets within 6.5, and even if you don't shoot, as long as he doesn't get within 5.88, then we're not going to get ourselves spotted by the Kerfus at least. That's something going for us at least. That torpedo salvo is going everywhere but where we need it, so that's probably a completely wasted salvo. And we're not really off to a good start at all. At least our heal is up again, so we can replace some parts of our ship in case we get some parts of our ship lost. But the thing about this ship is that you basically lose 50% from everything, and there you go. We fired, but we do get the reset through concealment, so that's a little spot of luck. We hold fire, so But minor problem, the plane's now taking off, so we need to turn our AA off when we're bailing out of the smoke, and there you go, AA is off, and the plane's more than 8 kilometers away, so nobody's actually in a position to spot it. Gonna launch some more torpedoes on the way around. We still have 47 seconds left on this smoke screen. I wouldn't be overturning like this. Neptune's not the world's most maneuverable ship, but I definitely would be considering a very, very, very rapid advance in the opposite direction. Plane spotting us, so no reason to have AA turn off at this point, and we actually insta-chip the plane and temporarily inside the Kerfus's hydro range as well, but not that major of a deal if we can get some lasting floodings on these guys. Kerfus has seen him coming, obviously, so he takes one, doesn't flood. It's a bit unfortunate, but the Benson torpedoes are coming in, and we do actually flood the Monty, which is definitely quite a nice little bonus there. Definitely would launch the second set with the aim of trying to hit the Montana, and there you go, swiveling around, launching in there as well. Can also Kerfus, now low HP. We need to be careful. There's a little shallow that's here. It's a really awkwardly placed one, and it doesn't block spotting. It doesn't block shells. It just blocks torpedoes. Whereas ones in the distance, they do actually block shells and torpedoes. Allied Benson's actually trying to give us a smoke screen right now, so we actually should be doing rudder hard port to get ourselves as quickly as possible behind this smoke screen of the Benson, and use it just to try to build distance, because we don't really want to stay here. That Monty is still pushing us down. Regardless, our second salvo of torpedoes is actually looking pretty damn good. We do get a flooding on that, very, very good, and the guy doesn't have a plane at the moment. Someone actually deflects off us, probably hit the roof of our gun turret at some awkward angle or something silly. But regardless, with him now flooding, he's going to take a lot more time to get to us than he otherwise might have, as we actually overpen the top of his superstructure. Doesn't happen often. But now we're going to open fire on him. I would definitely not reverse towards him at all. At this point, we're just doing what we do, creeping forward slightly, but shooting through the smoke screen. So thankfully, a allied battleship does actually deal a lot of damage to him, and there you go, Ifmo finishes the guy off. But for the moment, we're still fine behind this Benson smoke screen, as long as you can see, the stuff over there doesn't get within 16.5. And with only one destroyer left, and we know where he is, and shooting at the Mogami is kind of a waste, to be honest. Probably would just try to plink. Oh, nope, Tubbs is going to give us a reasonable angle. So he's definitely something that's worthwhile plinking at. But as you can see, we do actually have the top fire control system. When I ground to the Neptune, I pretty much actively decided to not run the top fire control system, instead opting just to get the Minotaur as fast as possible, and then go back and get the fire control system. Mostly because 15 kilometers gun range is good enough. It is good enough to engage what you need. And I ran radar, so the less, the less range, if you want, I had, the better it is. Anyways, our Yamato is broadside. Our Isthmo that saved our tail off the Montana has now gone down. Bit of an awkward position to just sit still with everything opening up on him. Yamato's probably bleeding a lot of health with the way he's going to be moving around right now on the... Oh, never mind, it's a different... No, okay, never mind. This Montana has F'd off, so it's a... So, but hey, he's going to be at least trying to take it to a better position. Having a look at the map as we probably should be trying to plink the Turbus down. He actually did get a heal off at the end, and there you go, we're opening fire on the Turbus now, but he's going to be angled, so we're not going to have the best time against him. But looking at the map, our Bismarck that was up here just died, and they have a lot of health on the stuff over there. Now be careful of the Benson smoke, it's been there for a while, so it's probably time to deploy ours, and there we go, react to the Benson smoke expiring. Placing our own, the Benson reacts to his smoke expiring by, oh my god, I need to go forwards. Which he hasn't been positioning himself the world's best. He should have been trying to be ass on, or after putting the smoke screen down to get on the flank to get some better torpedo angles. But it looks like this Yamato is pushing ahead mostly very suicidally, whereas these shots are looking quite alright actually. But you want to aim, that one's definitely on the lead. you don't really want to hit the top of the superstructure. You actually want to hit. Let me take the controls of the camera and pause it. There you go. You actually want to hit on this 32mm plate up here on the Yamato. Not the superstructure, because that's going to saturate. You want to hit just underneath it, because that should be a separate piece of plating. Annoying replay bugs. Well, replay system. Regardless, we're actually going to leave this smoke. If we're going to leave this smoke, I definitely would push back against the enemy with the lie. At this point, actually, let's have a look at the health. Ooh, the Yamato's about to go down. That's bad. They still have a lot of health in the distance, though, and I don't know about the baguette, but he's being pushed. And he's way too close. Moskva's pushing into B. Des Moines low HP. That Montana we might as well count as not existing, and this Montana's been in the back for quite a while, so he probably hasn't achieved much either. Launching some random torpedoes. I'm not really sure they're going to reach the Iowa, because I doubt he's going to want to push forwards, because he's the last remaining battleship on their team. He kind of needs to stay alive. And without a radar, we can't actually counter down the other lie, but then again, without a radar, we would never have been able to play the area we just played. Neptune actually knocks out our Charles Baguette, which is a bit of an interesting thing to happen, but without that Baguette, the team's going to be in a horrible situation. I probably would not consider opening fire on that, like, we're just outside of our own smoke as well, so, hey. But regardless, the Iowa's not pointing at us, and like I thought, he's definitely going to reverse. This Montana at least gives us an indication that that there is a collision alert coming up, so he's at least paying some attention. He probably slowed down to try to let us pass. Plinking away at the Iowa, the lie is shooting AP at us, not the world's best choice of ammunition. 16mm of armor shooting HE is just generally going to yield much better results. Picking up some pretty decent damage. Our Monty's not paying attention, and our Benson is pushing down the lie. I definitely think that's a misplay by the Benson. He should have tried to remain concealed as much as possible, because he just went down, and that's a ship we needed to try to win this game. Granted, they have a Moskva, but now we're 3 versus a good lot of health from the enemy team. Who cares about the Mogami? It's a 20.3 Mogami that's been spamming quite a bit of AP for some reason. Like, is that AP or... That's HE incoming on the Monty, but it's still annoying. But we've gone concealed now, so we just need to instantly turn back around and try to get into the game. If our Montys can kill the Iowas, we can... we at least have no deletion power, but... we're losing a lot of time turning here, so I'm just going to speed these things up a little bit, because we're going to be out of battle for a good minute and a half, maybe even 2 minutes at this point, due to a turn back made way too late. The Moskva bled a lot of health, but our Montana, instead of... our Montana who died here, should have been trying to play much more wider over there instead of trying to get back, but that's the Montana that tried to team kill us at the start of the game, so really wouldn't count too much on him. This Montana, however, needs to try to push in. He's bled health in his turn. He should have been trying to push in, and we should have together tried to eliminate the Iowa, who's now getting the chance to angle, but if these guys shoot HE at him with this kind of range, he's going to wreck him. Get to them like 7-8 kilometers to have AP loaded again and then deal with stuff, but this Iowa is unlikely to want to push towards us. We're still around. One more smoke screen available, though. At this point, we may actually be forced to use it. And there you go. We are deciding to use it instead of trying to engage the Iowa in the open waters. Not too bad of a thing, but we've actually held quite a good point advantage, so it's only right about now we're actually starting to end up on the disadvantage side. We still have a few more extra points, and we're now fighting 2 versus 5. So in a situation like this, it really is all about trying to get into the game aggressively. The Monty's going to end up bleeding health, but like a Neptune's power not going to do too much. The Moskva is low HP, so it's easily deletable after the Iowa. Granted, he will be facing a lot of torpedoes, but that's kind of up to the enemy team to throw at this point. We don't really have the ability to win this on our own. Like, radar smoke doesn't matter. With the Neptune and the way this Montana is playing, we have absolutely no chance to win this. So this game is 100% lost at this point. Well, 100%. The enemy team could suicide in and throw themselves all the way and do no damage to this guy, but even then, they still have all 3 caps, so... You know, if Montana goes down, we lose. If we die, then we lose. If the enemy team holds the gaps, we lose. And, you know, you can see, even with the Iowa kill, we're still actually a little bit ahead on points. So what we needed to do was to get into the game and back towards, because the Hindenburg capped A, so he's slightly out of the game. But the Neptune flanking isn't really big of a deal. It's the fact we need to kill the Mogami and the Moskva, so we can then engage the Neptune with the Montana together. But he's kind of getting further and further away from the battle, which just further reduces our chance to win. And without a radar, we have no real means to just counter down the Neptune in one go. And with no more smokes, we have no real ability to sustain the game anymore. Incoming blind fire from Moskva, probably because he's shooting in from B, but at this point, I mean, that the Hydro is just to be safe, but it does mean we don't have access to it to try to push back. And at this point, somebody needs to get into C, and we've been dawdling about way too much time. This guy's very low HP. Not sure what to do. At this point, it's guaranteed loss because we just bled too much time. We have no means whatsoever back into this game. Even if the enemy throw 1 or 2 ships at us, they still have the cap control, the time to stop us. If we had a minute and a half extra, if we didn't lose time on a couple of a bit overextended, it's not overextended, but overdragged turns on the southern end of the border, and the Montana had actually pushed through and pushed down the Iowa instead of bleeding hell to broadside turning away. Perhaps we would have killed the Iowa. There's a chance we could have killed the Mogami and then pushed down the Neptune and leave the Moskva stuck in B alone. But again, risks. It's even then I'd say it's only like 15-20% chance to win. But at least it's 50% chance to win instead of what happened here, which was really together with this guy, what basically amounts to a 0.01% chance to win. So it's like I'd rather take a 50% chance to win, and even then we still have a reasonable chance to survive, whereas at this point, the only way we're going to survive is if we run away, which I guess is fine, but still won't yield much anyways. But what that guy says in chat isn't actually correct in that sense. It's not about letting the Hindenburg catch up. What he does is kind of pointless. Well, actually, it's not pointless. It's actually very pointful. He capped A, but, he capped A point. Get it? But, what matters is the fact that the Moskva's locked down in B, so he's providing a base and an anchor. He's got a radar, so we can't actually push close to him. The Mogami's still around, the Neptune's still around. The Mogami's low, but he ran. But in this kind of a late game situation where the enemy team's battleships have basically all committed suicide on us, and well, we kind of needed the allied battleship to deal some damage. But I mean, he's still got 40k health. That's actually a lot of health to play with. But we're now creeping in, and, well, we're probably about to get radar Moskva, and there we go, Moskva radar up. Let me go back to player cam. He's probably not going to push out, because he knows there's a Montana around, but we need this Montana to make this Moskva cease to exist. And we've opened fire on him, and the Hindenburg's revealed himself now, incoming AP from the Moskva, incoming AP from the Hindenburg as well, so we're quite rapidly realizing that we need to use the heal, but that Moskva's going to hide himself, and I mean, if he wants to hide, and honestly, entering the cap, I mean, it probably wouldn't have mattered, because unless we get a pick, like, on the Mogami that might get himself stuck on the island, he's healthy, so he can actually beat the Montana overall, and I'm pretty sure he took a torpedo there from the Neptune, so that's that chance gone. And now we kind of need to try to angle against the Hindenburg, because the Moskva is shooting HE at us right now, I believe. Yeah, that's HE, and the Hindenburg's shooting AP, so if we just sit here without a smoke screen, we're gonna just die to the Hindenburg. And, well, that's pretty much game, and he does actually pick up the Citadel, easily able to get the Citadel near our bow section. Mogami was shooting AG at this point, not AP, so it wouldn't really have mattered. So yeah, could we have won this game? Probably not. And when I say probably, I mean it's like 0.01% chance to win at that point. The enemy team would have needed to suicide 1 by 1 and killed all 4 of them without, without reprise. And even, without, it's like, forget it, it's not going to happen. But if the Montana that was on our side had pushed in earlier, if the team killer guy was trying to play the game as well properly earlier, we could have had a much better chance to get something out of it. But like, why would the first Montana push into the entire enemy team alone? So he should have bled a lot more. He actually got away with it incredibly well, but when he shouldn't have. But he didn't get away with what he did in the end, where he should have tried to keep a bit of distance and just get the crossfire slimes and pick off the Iowa, pick off the enemy battleships, because without the battleships, the Neptune is potentially able to do something without being basically subject to a lot of RNG risk. And the other Montana can basically just go bully the cruisers, because, Montana, that's kind of what it's good at, bullying cruisers. So yeah, at the end, to summarize the good things, we got a good chunk of damage, although granted a lot of this damage was given to us because we got lucky. A lot of playing Royal Navy cruisers is about luck. It is about not getting deleted just up front, because it can and will happen to you. And we saw that at the start of the game. We bled 3 Citadels, 1 from the Moskva and 2 from the Grosser first. So we kind of got lucky that we didn't just up front die at that point. We should have immediately stopped the drop when we got spotted, and we should never have accelerated back up to engines ahead flank when we, basically crept towards Charlie. That way we could have stopped the drop a lot earlier. Because 10.1 kilometer concealment on the Neptune without radar is definitely not good. If we had radar, then the move we made, I mean, it would have made even less sense because we would have just been getting ourselves stuck in a spotter position and screwed without really having the ability to deal with a destroyer. So yeah, having smoke there, I mean, not damage control partying the engine damage was not really good for our overall survivability either, but we didn't get punished for that. We just skidded out of the smoke very temporarily. It was a Montana that was more trying to do a number on killing us, the so-called allied one, over anything else on the enemy team, really. Because he sailed into the smoke screen, rammed into us, dragged us along inside of the smoke screen, and was getting shot at inside of the smoke screen, so any stray shell that missed him could potentially have hit us and dealt us a lot of damage. Other than that, you did actually ask what you did good. Other than basically doing what a Royal Navy cruiser a smoke Royal Navy cruiser should be doing, there was no real exceptional play, just generally sitting there and trying to deal damage. But that's the thing about the Royal Navy cruisers, they're pretty squishy, so if you don't take the chances, take the risks, and know which ones to take and which ones not to take, and risking the away turn there definitely at the start is not a risk I would suggest taking. I wouldn't say that there's anything exceptional, you just played very good. Getting the torpedo hits, very good. Opening fire on targets you needed to, good. But it was just typical Royal Navy cruiser gameplay, if I can put it that way. Nothing negative meant there. It was just, at least in my opinion, with the Royal Navy cruisers, and the reason why I didn't really want to go through too many high tier Royal Navy cruiser replays before, now where I've actually got my own radar Minotaur, and I'm actually really loving it. I'm really enjoying it. It's an amazingly fun thing to do. Granted, I think just sitting in a smoke screen and wanking is kind of boring. But playing with the smoke screen like that, it's just, I mean, on the Neptune it's fine because 10.1 concealment, 9.5 radar, but it's a big and not really the world's. I wouldn't say the world's most maneuverable ship. It's certainly mobile. It's not really that maneuverable for a typical cruiser. But yeah, I guess hope you find some of this commentary useful. This is quite a while ago, as you can see, 22nd of December, so my only real tip for the Royal Navy cruisers, for anyone, be it you, Oswald, or anyone else watching, is really just, it just has to snap for you. All the pieces of the puzzle just have to magically fall in place overnight, and if they don't fall in place overnight magically, then, well, keep playing until they magically do fall in place, because that's really all I can say. I can't really explain to you what to do, what not to do, because it doesn't work that way. These ships just require the tiny little thing, gameplay knowledge, mechanics, positions, shells, damage mechanics, and spotting, and general map meta, server meta. And I believe this is an NA server. I'm actually not sure. I'm actually not sure at this point, but pretty sure, because we would have been seeing all sorts of weird comments in chat regarding Christmas and whatnot that weren't in English if it was EU, so, and a lot more poise if this was Asia, right? But that's just me messing with the servers. But yeah. Having looked at the post battle results screen, almost 180k damage, 5 torpedoes, some flooding definitely came in there on the enemy's Montana, 4 kills, almost 5, got a Confederate and the first blood, bled a lot of health in the beginning though. Team scores, 1.4k to be expected. The Montana that was next to us at the end definitely had a okay game as well. The Des Moines had an average game, I guess. It's the Des Moines, it gets a lot of XP. Pretty sure he was the one that raided the Benson at the start. So he kind of got himself in a sticky situation and really couldn't unstick himself out of it. Let's see. This Montana, the one that was trying to kill us, well, he kind of tried something, but really was just throwing his health away. Still achieved better than the Yamato, who really was just, I guess, pretty unlucky, because he got stuck on the flank that wasn't doing so fine and dandy, and I mean, Yamato does not like that kind of situation. On the Ithmo, he was in way too deep, but at least he did save our tail, so something came out of that at least. And yeah, there, you can see, I'm pretty sure that's an NA guy, but yeah. Detail reward screen, 36k Kerfers, 33k Iowa, 46k on this Montana. Definitely the flooding damage and the torpedoes definitely helped out there, and it was his plane that we shot down, so the important thing about that is that the Grosser Kerfers was one who died earlier, so if he never actually launched a plane on us, he should have, because he might have actually got us spotted a little bit earlier, but this guy did have a plane, we shot it down, so well, there was no more plane to spot us, right? Picking up the kill on both the Benson and the Yodelai was useful because they were the ones that could potentially have caused us some significant annoyances later on the battle. And in the end, getting rid of the Iowa with 2 torpedoes for like 20-odd-k damage definitely did help us and our ability to try to make a play, but at that point it was honestly too late because the remaining enemy battleships never actually managed to take out this guy, despite having a battleship advantage through a good portion of the late stages of the game. Their cruisers just got too much to play, and our battleships had bled too much health in trying to achieve that, and weren't really making the right moves at the right time, and it just got bled even further. Going into the next meet without premium, definitely understandable to not use a premium heal. It's not that necessary as long as you have Superintendent and Smokescreen, because using Smokescreens means that you have additional time to basically play with a heal. I wouldn't if it was intentional at the start of the game to take the damage to heal it up again, I definitely wouldn't recommend that. Damage is something you want to avoid taking unless it's damage that you feel comfortable and understand that you can tank. And battleship damage is definitely not damage you can understand that you will tank, because it's just so random. 16mm of armor absolutely everywhere. They hit you, they lol-pen you. I think the Edenol actually gets 51mm essential deck plating, which can actually troll some shells, and it's 19mm, so Aki HE won't slaughter you as well. But yeah, definitely a good result in terms of that. I mean, it's tier 9 ship, so don't expect to be making super high profits, at least without a lot of modifiers stacked on top of it, and cost reduction. But yeah, for that, hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast. I definitely feel a lot more competent, if you want, in commenting on Royal Navy Cruiser gameplay now that I've actually gotten and enjoying my Radar Minotaur. So I guess what I just need to do now is get myself a Moskva and get myself a Hindenburg, and then I'll actually have experienced all the cruisers at the end of the game. I pretty much have all the battleship experience I need, so in the end, if I finally get off my tail and start grinding them, maybe I'll actually be able to do, more cruiser content. Generally, I wouldn't consider myself a good cruiser player. Not really, I wouldn't consider myself a bad cruiser player, but I don't think I'm good either. Just meh, I guess. Never really made the cruiser gameplay just magically snap for me, and magically just the pieces of the puzzle fit in. I guess I did get the Minotaur to work, to fit quite nicely now, but just other cruiser gameplay overall. Yeah, that's about me. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like to submit your own replays, there will be an email address in the description below, alongside a Discord. Join me on Discord. Ask me questions about the game. Ask me questions about strategies, tactics, tips and tricks, or just generally be social. It's kind of weird. I'm anti-social and I'm asking you guys to be social, but whatever. Take care. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.